Hello and welcome. Today, it is my pleasure to introduce Shantanu Gupta, a very famous Indian author and political analyst. He is also the founder of the Ramayana School. Gupta has authored 6 books, including Bharatiya Janata Party, Past, Present, and Future, Story of World's Largest Political Party, and The Monk Who Became Chief Minister, which is biography of the 22nd and current Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath. His new book is a sequel to that biography, which is The Monk Who Transformed Uttar Pradesh. Shantanu Gupta is on a tour of the United States to share his work with all of us. Namaste, Shantanu ji, and welcome to Lokvani.
Namaste, Ranjani ji. Namaskar.
What a pleasure to have you here. And I'm so curious. I mean, you come from a background that was not a journalistic background, and yet you decided to pursue a career in journalism and interestingly write about somebody who I think you started to write about Yogi ji when he was not the chief minister. What motivated you to get interested in him as a person and write this autobiography?
Ranjani ji, you are right. So I went to school in KV, Kendriya Vidyalaya Rishikesh, and I got to know just now that you are also a KV student. You are also a KV student from IIT Bombay. Yes. Then I did my engineering in mechanical. Then I did my management. So yeah, nothing to do with journalism. For 10 years, I worked in consulting in India and Europe. And at some point, I realized that working on the Dharmic Sanatani journey is far more fruitful for me. So I changed track. I went to UK, did my master's in political science and policy. And since then, from last 10 years, I'm working in public space, right? So when the campaigning for 2017 election was happening, Ranjani ji, right? I was on the ground for promoting my previous book, one of the old books. It was about Uttar Pradesh's governance. And I heard Yogi Adityanath firsthand in a rally multiple times, right? And that gave me a window that this person should be written about, right? And I was just exploring, thinking, how will I do? What research will I do? I should go to Uttarakhand, where he was born. And I was just thinking this, and the election result came, BJP won, he was declared the chief minister. So it was like almost a blessing in disguise that, oh, now I should surely write about him. He's the chief minister also. It was
just his personality that grasped
exactly.
you.
That just grasped me. That, yeah, so that this is like Gorakhnath Math coming from the Adinath Shiva Parampara, right? So he's the Mahant of not only Gorakhnath Math, but all India Nath Sampradaya also. So someone who is sitting on such a high religious seat, such a high Dharmic Sanatani seat, and is also a member of parliament for 5 years. Oh, not 5 years, 5 terms, right? And his guru was a member of parliament. His guru's guru was a member of parliament. I just want to understand this phenomena that how politics is being used by this mutt for public service. Because over years, politics, I think globally is denigrated, that politics is something that you enjoy, aap satta ka aanand lete hain, right? And here this is smart, which is using politics as a lever for social service, right? So I wanted to understand this coupling, right, of politics, dharma, and social service. That's why I wanted to write about him.
Great. That was really very interesting to see how a mutt is actually using not just spiritual discourses, but actually using politics. So that is a very, very interesting thing. And now when we move into him taking on the role of a chief minister of, I think, one of the largest states in India, and as I think you always mention, larger than most countries in the world.
Exactly.
How do you think he has transformed not just Uttar Pradesh? I know there's a lot about governance and I would love to learn that from you, but also the people themselves. I mean, I think what I hear is always a monk, the goal of the monk is not just to transform, the materialistic things around you, but really the spiritual, the inner soul to become good human beings. So do you see Yogi ji's role in both these places? And I'd love to hear about both of them.
Right. See, when he became the chief minister in 2017, Ranjani ji, Uttar Pradesh was characterized by 3-4 things, right? One is that how Gunda Raj, how Mafia Raj, how gangsters were institutionalized in politics. The people who should be traveling in courtrooms, police rooms, and jails were in seat of power, were in Vidhan Sabha and Lok Sabha, were in legislatures, right? That's point number one. Second, that you can do a crime and get away with it. Mulayam Singh famously said, "Ladke hain, galti ho jati hai. Boys will be boys. Will you punish them?" Like,
Wow.
and these were the two characteristics of UP politics. And third characteristic was that, like, it is very lazy politics. My officers tell me in UP that first phone from Akhilesh Yadav office used to come at 12 o'clock and 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And now the first call comes to them at 7:30 in the morning. So
Wow.
no discipline, no discipline, nepotism, and the gangsters and these people were institutionalized in politics. That's why we needed someone who could clean all of this up, right? Who has no family to take care of, who is just working for whom the politics is a lever to serve people,
Yeah.
not a lever to fill his bank account.
Right.
So Uttar Pradesh needed this, if I can use the word detoxification, which was the toxification was happening for decades in Uttar Pradesh, right? And Uttar Pradesh, you also rightly said, the cultural renaissance that is being observed in Uttar Pradesh for the last 5 years. Uttar Pradesh is a land of Rama. Uttar Pradesh is land of Krishna. Uttar Pradesh is land of Shiva. And in such land, we had to, can you imagine that? You have to fight a court case to establish that Rama was born in Ayodhya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Like you have to do a court case for 70 years to establish that Rama was born in Ayodhya.
Right.
In his own country, in his own city, we were putting Rama in a tent. I think it was not just a court case, it was a black blotch on the whole India, that we are keeping our Rama in a tent. So, and that's why someone like Narendra Modi, someone like Yogi Adityanath cleaned that blotch from our foreheads forever, right? That's why I also see a governance renaissance and also a cultural renaissance of UP in last 5 years, Ranjani.
That's fantastic. I always wondered about UP as a very special place because that is where Rama was born. That is where now Yogi ji and so many wonderful people. And locally, for example, Balram Singh ji and you are from UP. And
Right.
yet we see Dawood Ibrahim and other people from UP as well. And it seems like a very melting pot. And I don't know what great God's will is to make this such a special holy land where both the good and the evil is always kind of working with each other. But glad to hear about Yogi ji here, that he is here. And I think one of the other things, I think having the Ram temple there, I think that takes that issue off of people's mind, and people can now focus on governance and other things. So if you look at Yogi ji's term right now, what do you think are the top three Vikas related changes that you think?
Yeah. I think to my poll prediction, he's going to win the election hands off, and he'll going to win the election hands off because of these three things.
Yeah.
First is law and order. UP was like, from petty crimes to organized mafia, UP had everything.
Yeah.
UP used to inspire only one field, is the Bollywood movies. And they used to tailor all gangster incidences from UP. So law and order is the biggest one. Second thing is the basic facilities like road and electricity. In villages, UP used to get just 12 to 13 hours of electricity per day. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
And now from the 13 hours, it's become 22 to 24 hours. Wow. It's not 24 hours still, I'm agreeing to that, but from 12 hours to 13 hours of electricity, now it's 22 to 24 hours. Wow. That's number two. Number three is the deliverance of schemes. So in 45 central government schemes, UP is number one. Be it deliverance of toilet, be it making of houses, be it the Jan Dhan Yojana, be it the gas stoves for the woman, poor woman. So yeah, these three things, Ranjani ji, I think will make him win the election. And these are the top three things also, which are in the top in the head. And but people are greedy. Now they will ask for more, right? But now the basic sanity check is there, right? That the governance is going on. They've seen Yogi Adityanath, that the governance is not happening to fill the coffers of the politician. So now they will ask more, and he will deliver more. And that's what he's here for. He gets up at 4 in the morning. He sleeps at 12 in the night. Just work. Right? So yeah, that's Yogi Adityanath for you.
That's really fantastic. And I think that's why a monk should be a chief minister, because he has the discipline, and the discipline is the number one thing for anything to go on. So now I'd like to conclude this interview to really talk about the most important reason that you are here is to share your wonderful new work with us. So please tell us about the book, where we can buy it, and what can people hope to read from that book?
So yeah, this is the book, if you allow me. It's called The Monk Who Transformed Uttar Pradesh, with Yogi ji working on his iPad. This is not a prop I put on him. He's very fond of gadgets. And if you sit any of his meeting, you will hear terms like data analytics, dashboard, QR codes, GPS tracking. That's very normal part of his vocabulary. People just think, "Arey, ye to Pandit ji hai. He doesn't know. He only do puja part." So he does puja part also. That keeps his personal proprietary, but he's solid in governance also, right? So his journey, what this monk has done, how this monk has transformed Uttar Pradesh in the area of education, in the area of health, in the area of roads, and also the cultural renaissance. I've documented that meticulously in these 10 chapters. I'm doing almost 12 to 13 cities book tour from United States. I've already did big launches in New Jersey. There was a TV Asia interview. Then in New York, we did a lot of live Indian television from Times Square, from Statue of Liberty. I did a talk with the Harvard student yesterday, and you were also present. It was a pleasure to hire you. Yeah. I think today we are doing a community event in Boston in the evening. From here, I'm going to Washington, D.C., from there to Raleigh, then Atlanta, then Chicago, then Atlanta, then Dallas, then Houston, then Los Angeles, San Diego, and I end my visit in San Francisco. And on 7th, which is my birthday, I'll be on the flight to India. Oh. I'll be flying on my birthday. I'll celebrate my birthday with the crew and the passengers. And why I want to go early? Because on 10th of February, I have my own vote in Uttar Pradesh, right? Oh. I can't talk so much about Uttar Pradesh and can't vote. So and there is no vote I've missed in last decade. Wow. So I'll go back and vote. My vote is in Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Pankaj Singh ji is the candidate there. So yeah, this is my journey. In all the places I'm doing the event, there's a website, shantanugupta.in. If they go there, there's a detailed itinerary, which city, which venue, who is the contact person, what time the event is there. Every venue books are available to buy. I'll sign the copies. And if they're not able to come to the event, they can buy it on Amazon.com also. It's available for delivery in United States. Amazon.in, anyway, it's available in India. But if they're in US, they want to order from Amazon.com, it's available. If you just type my name, Shantanu Gupta, you'll get all the books that I've written. Or if you want to type by this title, The Monk Who Transformed Uttar Pradesh.
Fantastic, Shantanu-ji. Thank you so much for accommodating my little interview here with Lokvani. Our Lokvani audiences truly appreciate your time despite your very busy schedule. We look forward to seeing the book, of course, and to watching the monk himself transform not only Uttar Pradesh, maybe India in the
exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Ranjani.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Okay. Namaste.